Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversations. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Hello, hello, hello. I have a question for you. Have you ever felt completely lost? You know, seeking purposeful direction that could and should propel your mission within your divine journey to that next level, but still it hasn't happened. Well, my name is Lauren Michaels Harris, and I'm the founder of P3, the Journey Series. People come to me because they're wounded, many are scared, and even there are those who are bruised simply because they feel that they are increasingly, for whatever reason, losing their ability to dream. Now, this P3 program is not for a person who's just looking to start a business, no, but rather for those of you out there who have been on your journey and you've been navigating within your divine purpose, but you still desire to elevate to that level that you have not reached yet. If this is appealing, if this describes you, then I want to have a chat with you. I want to hear your story. So use the link below to get registered for your free seat at P3, the Journey Series. And let's get started, one story at a time. I'll see you inside. Click the link.
Before you get it, baby, show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Boy, I'm standing right here holding up a sign, shamelessly displaying my state of mind. You walk right past me, pretending like you don't see what's yours for the taking tonight.
What is that? Oh, see, that's why when you have a mirror handy, use it. That was some mango, I think. Good morning. How are y'all doing today? Welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I left the monitor off today. I usually have it playing with some frequency music. But something was going on with that internet. They're separate internets. Frequency spray. I'm getting it in because we have a
a topic, an interesting topic today. It's a solo, well, kind of. It was going to be solo, but I invited a couple friends. I get by with a little help from my friends. Remember that song? Anyway, first of all, good morning to you and welcome. Dr. Lauren with you. And hold on. I'm going to check on something real quick. We have the Oracle in the house today. And I'm going to just bring her in while I'm looking up some other stuff. Kind of moving extemporaneously, if you will, today. In other words, no script, just having a conversation. And that's what it's all about. So, Oracle is here because of today. I looked, you see, I put out there, okay, let's talk about spiritual checkpoints. And you know me and my thing about downloads, right? It's funny how sometimes I think, oh, I wonder how I came up with that name for something because I haven't run into it. I'm not familiar with it. I think it's not been anywhere. But I found that spiritual checkpoints is a real thing. I found a bunch of stuff about it. I don't know if it matches because I mean, my experience and why I call it that, or was told to call it that. Let's call it because I didn't name it. I just repeated it. So anyway, I've been experiencing what I was told are spiritual checkpoints, and I wonder if other people are. And so brought the Oracle in to match up some intel or just to discuss it. So put your hearts on the screen. It's the way we do it. It's how we say good morning and welcome. She's on her way in. Here comes Dominic Rivera. Did I say it right? Rivera. I wish I could roll it like they can. But anyway, I like the way she rolls. She's here. Put your hearts together. Here we go. Well, good. Oh,
Rivera.
what?
Rivera.
Rivera.
Yeah.
Rivera. How are you?
I am just waking up from 2 very long, abundant, but so many gigs that I actually haven't slept. So I'm awake. I'm glad I'm here. Good morning. Grand rising to everybody at home.
Yeah. And I wonder why my speaker thing is on.
Making
Auxiliary.
my magic brown potion that none of you have ever seen before.
Yes, I have. I have it right here.
Oh boy, look at that. You're ahead of the curve.
I use one of those too. That's how I make mine. With what's that thing called?
A French press.
Yes, French press.
I don't have to go ours for that one.
Yeah. Why does my face look so ashy?
Why does my face look so ashy?
It does. I look kind of grayish. Wait a minute.
Not from my end, you don't.
I don't?
No.
I have a dental appointment at 11. Oh, wisdom tooth. Oh, it hurt so bad last night. I woke up and my lip was numb.
That's interesting. Growing pains and wisdom tooth.
Yep. Oh.
How the correlation of those things go together.
Well, that pain was there. I don't know if the wisdom showed up yet, but the pain sure did. So 1 out of 2 ain't bad. Yeah. Oh, I sent myself the clip that you sent the other day. And I thought if it comes up, we can share it. The one about when you said,
yeah. Sure.
I took something off today. So tell everybody what you do. There may be someone watching who isn't aware of who you are. Or, why don't I let you have the stage for a second? 414's up there. 414. Yeah, that's my number. Thank you. Yeah. So, have you ever heard of the term? Did you know it's a real? Well, other people use it.
We're gonna jump into spiritual checkpoints, right?
Yeah, you've heard of that before?
Yeah. So just to let people know at home who I am, while Lauren.
Yeah, I'll be right there.
He's looking for something. I'm the Oracle of Apollo.
Oops, wrong one.
The other one. There we go. I'm the Oracle of Apollo. I've known Lauren quite a bit now. I am an integrated energy therapy master instructor, Reiki master teacher. I'm an actual Oracle. And I basically teach people how to move energy out of their body through somatic experiences as well as spiritual ones. In my short synopsis of my story, I used to be fully disabled. until one day Archangel Raphael appeared to me, which I would have laughed at anybody's face had I ever heard of this prior to this experience. And through a very long series of events, about 10 years, I wound up getting all my mobility back, regulating my blood pressure, and reversing what I had previously. And today we're going to be talking about spiritual checkpoints. Yay! And we all go through these checkpoints where we have to stop, pause, reflect, assess, understand, and recognize where are we going next. Because when you're on the journey and you have no destination, you always arrive somewhere because you don't have anywhere to go. So, Lauren, are you done? Are you done looking?
Yeah. Wait, where are you? Okay.
I'm in the ether.
Wait. Oh, see, I can't see the. Oh, look at that. I'm trying out different things. Okay, there we go. So, yeah. One thing though, what did you mean when you said you don't have a destination? You mean a predetermined destination? Because we always have a destination.
People go, I don't know where I'm going. They put no plans. They put no guidelines. They put no purpose. There's no intention. So you're going to just get wherever that leads you, which is, it's like letting universe choose for you every single time. And you have you're not co-creating with the universe.
Is it possible to do that?
Yeah, you stay asleep.
No.
You stay asleep. You don't try to pursue your passions. You don't try to expand yourself. There's no self-awareness. You become a victim of your life. Everything happens to you. You don't find a deeper meaning within.
Yeah. I'm looking. I cleaned up my area. And, well, you know.
What are you looking for?
It was a part of this process I've been in. And I'll be honest. I'm not kidding you. There were a couple. Oh, here's another down. Frozen in Faith. So let me say what happened with me real quick. A plethora of downloads, more than usual, just flying in over the last, I'd say, a couple months. Well, you guys have heard us talk about the outpouring and Year of Jubilee, that something special, something extra special was happening. And it's one of the things we had been talking about was the hearing that, be expectant, don't be surprised, because great things are coming. Increase, prosperity, abundance, blessing in a big, big way. I think different than anything we're accustomed to. But the thing was, but be expectant. That's the key thing. And what I thought was, and here's the thing about Source. Afterwards, you go, well, what was I thinking? How did I think I could figure it out exactly? And you can't. I'm beginning to understand. You're given heads up just to keep your head up and to look for something, because of the promise. If you seek, you're going to find exactly why it's there. If you don't seek and it can't.
Also, it's like one of those things where you're giving the heads up to keep your heads up and to not be surprised.
That's what I was going to say. Because if you're surprised, you get scared.
Right. And if you get scared, your vibration gets lower. If you already have physical or medical situations, you get inflamed, it gets worse, you get sicker. So it's like letting you know, hey, we're giving you that heads up because we're supporting you. This is us supporting you.
And it's for your benefit.
It is.
I mean, I'll tell you this, for me, a couple times in the last week, because it was the concentrated, I wrote down here today. One of the things I did not know, everybody knows, everyone talks about tests. They put us through tests. They test us. And there was a download a few weeks ago. It's over there in the pile. Oops, I was told to quit calling it pile. I don't have your content. You don't put your content in piles of poop, a pile of crap, piled up, a pile up on the freeway. No, it's a stack.
The stack. It's a
Yeah,
stack.
it's a stack because right now it's going somewhere. A pile is just thrown. That came in during it. A lot of correction, a lot of tweaking, but more validation than anything, which was the greatest part. So quizzes, tests, and exam, and the test part in the middle.
Thank you.
Is about for me. Well, what I hear, the downloads that we don't test you guys because we aren't sure or we don't believe that you can conquer whatever that challenge is standing before you, right in front of you. We test you so that we can literally push you into the self-realization that whatever that is that's standing right in front of you, well, you've already conquered it. And wow, so all these things came in, and then it led to the Jeopardy round, which for me was Friday night.
Wait. Before you go into that, Lauren, could you expand a little bit on and this is my mind thinking for the people in the back. Can you expand on you've already conquered it so people could understand that analogy fully?
Well,
because they're gonna be like, wait, what do you mean I did? I'm now.
Well, I believe
it's a
huh? I'm going to say this. It ties in when I heard that. I'll tell you where, because sometimes I don't know what something means, of course. But I try to go, or something pushes me. I don't think I try. I think it automatically happens. If there's a reference point that attaches to what I'm trying to learn and be taught in that moment, I'll get a flash of something similar. So in this case, how manifestation, because I've always had this thing, when you say it's right there, I can feel it, it's coming for you, and they look. And I was like, because they have manifested it. You've all, I know that the younger versions of us manifest a lot of who we are today, what we have coming tomorrow or down the road. They had a hand in it. I don't believe I'm manifesting right now, just me for my future. I believe the previous versions of me, they manifested where I'm at and more beyond where I'm at. So
it's like a supernova or like a star. The essence is there. The star could have already burned out, and then the energy still goes. And you're seeing the light now, even though its core, it's already beyond time.
Well, and you can look at it like this. The truth is the only thing in the universe that I know of that never changes. And it never will change on us. So I think too, once we know a truth, and I know this to be true, through and through, beyond even a cellular level, to a spirit level, when you know it, even things beforehand, when you just know it, and that's faith. I just know this to be true. I don't need proof. Well, it's because it's already there. It's already there. And also it ties into, you hear me say, I've always been told faith is a place. Joy is a place. All the things we cannot touch, we can only feel them. They're places because they're already there. When I need joy, it is with me if I choose it, if I call it forward. So that's how I was looking at that. Because everything serves us. We're told everything serves us. If it doesn't, everything works for us. So you get a chance to prove it to yourself. How much of this stuff you're like, if I'm Mr. Haney from Green Acres, and he had that truck with all that shit in it, he had anything. If you said I need a toilet with a flower growing out of it, he'd pull one out of the back. I got just what you. So all the things that we peddle from the back of our trucks, from our roadside stands, sooner or later, you're going to be asked to prove where's the manifest? Where's the like when ships brought things, they had a manifesto. They pulled it out. Well, I'm carrying this. What's your cargo?
Yep.
Right. Yep. So that's what I feel. So let's talk about it. I think those checkpoints are to make sure everything you peddle. Pedal to the metal. rubber to the road. It's a checkpoint to make sure, first of all, that you know what you have. Somebody didn't slip something in, something didn't fall out the back of the truck, off the truck while you were on the phone, something didn't plunder and steal something. I think it's for multiple reasons, but
I
I
like
think it's
that. So you know what you have, but to me that lands very deeply. Yes, you can say, okay, this is what I have, right? These are the things that I have. I know I have this. No, no, no. But do you know that you're carrying it? Do you
precious
know
cargo.
it is with you? Do you know you have it? So I'm just bringing that back around to like tie it in a little, cement it a little deeper. Do you know you have it? Because as you're going through the checkpoints and you have this bag, Spirit is already giving you everything you need in that bag when you arrive to that checkpoint. Sure, my friend and student Tasha, her house just burned down recently.
No.
It did, and that's a big one. So that means you're starting from zero, everything from zero.
Yep.
You're getting to this part of life, and they don't always have to be so cataclysmic. It could even be, I am now going from a single woman. I have my first child, and this is my first experience as this. You already have in that bag. You already have the moments where you're going to need that little bit of extra faith. You're already going to have in that bag the support of your friends who travel across the country into the woods to come hang out with you and fight the unseen war. You already have all these predestined things that are on their way to you and that are around you, and there are resources around you in your bag, as long as you're willing to use the resources, because we still have free will. And sometimes our fear lets us squander the resources and opportunities that are in our bag.
Well, that was what I heard about being expectant. When you're expectant, usually there's a plan. Well, you guys will be here what time? 4? Okay, so when you guys get here, we'll rest and let you get unpacked, get comfortable. But then we got to be at the restaurant at 6 for dinner. Then after that, you have a plan. When you expect people, oh, we're pregnant. What do they call that? We're expecting. What do they start doing? They start preparing. So, because I said, well, what's the big deal about being expectant? And they said, well, in most cases, people that are surprised by blessing increase, they squander a lot of it or all of it because you don't have a plan. You just, a lot of like winning both showcases on The Price is Right. So I had been hearing that part. A lot of us had, but what I didn't realize or didn't know was the thing about as far as these checkpoints. I felt like I was on the speed round, almost like every game show I've ever watched or loved. I was on them all at the same time. Let's make a deal. I'll give you $1,000 if you can pull a quote out that fits this moment. No weapon formed against me. I'll give everything. You had to just reach in and pull it. There was no going and looking for it. I'll be right back. Can I have a minute? Stop the clock. No. And I didn't have to think. The things came automatically. And that's what I learned most, I think, about the truth. Wow. Even if I am like, I can forget my own name. What's my name? I know it starts with L. What is the things that come to help me do battle, see clearly, and it's not all scary. Now, that's another thing I want to talk about today too, Oracle. People don't have an issue saying, "Oh, I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual." And the minute you speak to your loyalty, what jersey you wear, what car you ride in, what gang you rep. I'm just saying it, whatever you got to do, what neighborhood. When you say I'm a spiritualist, I believe the level you are in there, where you fit, when it comes to being tested by other entities that are part of that spiritual world, they're going to be matched accordingly. And so I really believe that. I don't believe we get bullied spiritually. I believe when something attaches itself to a section of our journey, it is to see if we know it. We know it. So I don't know. I mean, that's a first for me. That was
I
a first.
when it comes to that, and I'm not saying people get bullied, but let's go a little deeper in that. Because this is the realm in which I have a lot of experience in.
And I'm agreeing. What I'm saying is, I don't believe they put anything that's stronger. There is nothing stronger than the truth.
There is nothing stronger than the truth. My phone just screenshotted that for whatever reason all by itself. That's so weird.
Weirdly wonderful.
It's weirdly wonderful. Wonderful. So while you're sending, you're molecularly changing, you're energetically shifting, you're coming into a new alignment, you have brighter light. The brighter your light, the further it can be seen. So then at some point, a lighthouse. And now the ships, whether they carry pirates or a family,
right,
can see you from the vast ocean of darkness. And they are drawn into you. And now some people might say, oh, well, this is why I don't get into that, because I will invite things over. Okay, well, do you buy car insurance because you think you're going to get into a car accident? Did you buy fire insurance and fire alarms for your home because you're inviting a fire in your home? Did you, so these are the comparisons. These are, would you rather stay asleep and leave your doors unlocked versus having the weapons, having the knowing, and having even the worldly, what do we call those people when street smarts? They're like having street smarts, but for your spirit. So that you're not naive to let things in. You gain street smarts, and those things that you don't want in doesn't mean that they won't come knocking on your door at 2 a.m. claiming they're Jehovah's Witnesses here to proclaim something for you.
right.
But you won't be so quick to let them in. And right now, I'm going through a circumstance in which that is being mirrored right now. And I recognize when I'm being hit harder, it is because it's a reminder of my purpose. I'm pissing something off.
Yes.
Because I have a mission, and the harder those things hit back, it's because I know my mission is big. I know my voice, and you're trying to silence something that maybe I don't even see, and I can't. Right? I'm a human being. I can't see what's going to happen to me in 30 years from now. Or if I discover, I don't know, if I discover something that has never been discovered and it helps millions of people, who knows? I don't. But I do know that something else wouldn't want you to stay small unless you mattered.
Right.
That something else wouldn't want you quiet unless you had power in what you spoke.
That's right.
So be vigilant on these things when you're getting hit with a succession of things. There is more power in you that you recognize. And as a human being, you may just go off of what you can see. And Lord is often on, don't go by what you can see.
Right. Now, also using, and that's great. Thank you, Dominique. She used some of her real experience. We're talking in the last few weeks or beyond, but concentrated here recently. Yeah. Now, we're going to go back and forth. Now, I have a clip to show. And we talked, the reason I have Dominic here is because we were talking all the way through this cycle that had been happening. We were talking to each other before things happened on my side, before things happened on our side, and during. And so we have some proof of something happening because you're doing something. So I'm going to say this. One of the real challenges for me that I had never known I was in, but I had a feeling. So I remember hearing Maya Angelou, just do right. So a situation with a friend so deeply ensconced in my journey, I didn't even realize how close I am to this person until it was threatened. And so I did a post. You guys saw it. I didn't say names. I didn't give anything away because it wasn't what was important to me. Even when I was angry about what was happening, when I was texting this person, I remember there was, for every time I hit the button and sent something, there were 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 that I had deleted because I could, something said, stop, take a look at this. Are you taking anything personally? Are you all the things that I have come out of my mouth had to come back? I had, like she said, if you're going to teach, Maya says, if you're going to teach, you must live your teachings. Plus, I felt the urgency, like, don't get this wrong. Don't get this. Look, is that really? So that was at first a little daunting. And like, oh shit, here comes my own stuff, right? But then it started landing. And once it started landing, I focused. And it was like the shell game was going on. I was working with, I could see the distractions like at a carny. All of them were little game. They come over, try your luck, right? I saw those three monkeys doing, ready to slap their hands, because a lot of people think that that's for us. That is against us. Hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil. That is against us. When it's something that can help me, they think, mm-mm. But I can freeze those hands now. I know I can freeze them right where that. Right. Three monkeys look like this now. Eyes open, mouth open, ears open. Everything they tried to close, I froze it open.
That's right.
Because I want the opposite of you. That's
Yep.
all I need to know. I don't need nothing else. So boom,
Yep.
freeze your ass right there.
Yep.
So, but I learned a lot about why we're told to do the things we do. Why not make assumptions? Because I didn't fully understand it until the music for da 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 da, the Final Jeopardy music, dun 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 dun, boom boom. When it did that, I got it. I got it. So let's show this. Talk about, you know, the clip with the
vase.
The vase. So kind of tell them what we had talked about and what's been going on. Oh, Lulu's here, and Lulu was a part of mine. Lulu, when you come in here, don't say no names. Because it's on the other side of it now. But we're talking about how the people in the front row seats of our lives, how we will be connected during these spiritual checkpoints. Everything you use as a resource comes into play or is available to come into. It's like check your toolkit or wreck your toolkit. You know, so
they're parallel equations is what they are.
Yeah.
Hey.
And Lulu, let's say this. Another thing, you guys always hear me say about first. Follow your first mind. Honor anything that's a first, because it sits in a seat that nothing else will ever be. So always make your first your most important, because it's everything you remember. You remember your first apartment, your first boyfriend, your first everything. And Lulu's first show had a part of my spiritual checkpoint. It was right up in there. And she'll remember that day always. And it lets you know a lot about where you're at. So hi, Lulu. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm over here after a sweat session. Sorry, all half naked and stuff, but you know.
Oh, no worries. You know Dominique, the Oracle, right?
I don't think I don't
Oh, your
I don't know we ever met before. No.
Oh, you got, that's why I keep thinking Lulu's been on Meet the Experts, which is Wednesday, by the way.
Mm.
You can both come. Yeah. We'll probably maybe pick this back up. So, Lulu, before, catch up for real quick. Have you ever heard of the term? I hadn't, but when I went into, I always go to YouTube and see if someone's done a video about it. There were quite a few about spiritual checkpoints. I don't know if they found the thing.
I don't think I ever heard it before.
I had neither. And I'll just say this. Sometimes I think it happens like this, so it doesn't color your experience. That you don't, because I still haven't watched or listened to any of the others. But I have one ready just in case. So what do you think a spiritual checkpoint is now that we've kind of been a part of what we're talking about as one? Lulu, do you see it as that?
What, a spiritual checkpoint? I'm
what
assuming.
Do you see it as? What is it? What do you see on the screen when you hear the word? Because it's one word.
It's like a pause to recollaborate, understand where I am, be, make that self-aware moment of seeing where I am. How does this portray to my growth from a spiritual level? So let's say a situation happens and I feel the pause I would say that's like the spiritual checkpoint where it's like if you continue from here, you gotta realign everything before you move on. See what this moment is bringing to you from a spiritual growth level. That's kind of what
That,
resonates with me when I hear it.
and I think so. And here's another thing, you guys. I believe it's really important to the conversation and to the reality of what lives right beyond the conversation, i.e., the experience. I
Mm,
don't believe any two are the same because here's why. I know how I see things, how source, how spirit shows me things. I joke about it all the time that they said at the beginning, if we had a book behind the desk of the creator that spoke to how we relate to each of you, Lauren, yours would be one of those white, yellow, and black books y'all have, whatever for dummies. And it's to keep me humble, but really, it's the same reason I love and surround myself with toys and stuff, because that's when I was scared. I was afraid of anything spiritual because I came from that religious background. Oh, that's the devil. And it scared me. And these things are what I held on to so the shadows wouldn't grab me, or so I thought. So I keep these now because this is where my two worlds really come together. This, you see what I'm saying? To
yeah.
remind me, remember when so I can go back and pick up stuff that I was right. It's so I'll say this and then I'm gonna shut up for a second. Um, I I really believe too. Like for instance, for me, it was like I was paying a toll. Like I was on the clock. It was fun. I saw the adventure. Like you're gonna go over here. Like if I was doing bump cars or something, or some kind of a you know off road thing where those you drive them and you drive and you go around like a bump car thing or what are those. It was fun. It was like a game, but it
Mhm.
was also timely, automatic. I felt like it should be natural. Don't think too hard. And every time I was in the line to pay my toll, because I waiting for this was how I knew I had it. The thing would go, and I could drive
Mm.
forward. Go next one, right? And there are people like if you're running and they hand you the water, which I would never be in a marathon because I can't run. But you know how they're doing it, and people are there handing them their Gatorade, and they keep running and they're cheering them, right? And the most important part of them done. When I crossed the finish line, because I heard the Jeopardy music, dun, 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 dun. When I crossed the finish line of it, I came across like this. I wasn't like that person who just a little more. I didn't like crawl. I wasn't bleeding out. I wasn't looking over my shoulder. All the things that I have seen myself or was afraid how I would respond in previous spiritual checkpoints because I wasn't aware of them. They
Yeah.
showed me, you've already beat this. You've already done this. You just didn't know you were doing it. That's how easy it is. But now you need to know because it's time to grow. So I needed to know you've been doing this all along. You see, it's like we work muscles getting in and out of the car. But if they turn them on and we could see what muscles we built simply from getting in and out of the car, I didn't realize that until I had my knee replaced. And they said, well, getting in and out of the car is an exercise that is going to be good for you. Because I said, that's yes. And I felt it because
Mm.
it was working on what had previously been working on along, but now it was restricted. So I was more aware of it. Sometimes when things around us that we're used to and take for granted need to be more cognizant. We need to be cognizant of them for whatever reason. We feel some pain in them to make, when you've worked out, ooh, I can feel that. I had to break it down so I could build it up. Muscles.
Yeah.
So what say you guys? Spiritual checkpoints. Take us through one. Lulu, you go first. Give us a spiritual checkpoint. Something where you knew you were being tested to see, and wow, that was it. Look at me. Hey, because it's usually tied to some sort of victory, I think.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Um, I'll go with some easy, since it was Mother's Day yesterday,
Yeah.
and you're
Oh,
a
happy
fan
Mother's
of, thank you, and you're a fan of my daughter. I'll bring her as uh, an
Miss
example.
Naomi.
So, yeah, Miss Naomi. So, it's funny because I always want to grow and I always want to learn and I always want to become better in life. And people will suggest things and I'm open to them and I'll take them in. But then sometimes when it comes to my kids, because they're your kids, you're like shushing them up real quick. If I said something, for example, especially with her, she has to correct me and stand me up on anything and everything. So, for example, she'll wear a hoodie and I'll say, put the sweatshirt on. She'll say, it's not a sweatshirt, it's a hoodie. And I'm like, what difference does it make? You know what I mean? Just put the sweatshirt on, just put the damn shirt on. And it's like, we don't need to do this right now at 7:30 in the morning when we're late to school. Like, you don't have to correct me about every little thing. But then one day I felt like I constantly felt the resistance with her. It was like a week full of them. And then we walked to school one day and I told her something about, you don't want to put your hat on from the hoodie because it was a little chilly. So she was like, it's not a hat, it's a hoodie. So I said, okay, I'm sorry, a hoodie. Do you want to put your hoodie on? And she's like, no, I'm fine. And I saw in that moment that I took her correction and I went with it. And as soon as I saw it, she looked at me and she said, wow, Mom, this is the first time you take a correction from me and not fight me over it. And I was like, little, you know,
Little mini
but it
me.
was, but I was like, you're right. I said, well, sometimes it's a little hard when you're so argumentative about everything else to listen to you, but I appreciate you correcting me and I'll take the corrections. I try to take them as much as I can. You just try to argue with me less so we can always find the balance between the two. And she said, yeah, I understand. I agree. And it was just like, this spiritual checkpoint moment where I saw how I'm moving from here with more acceptance, less resistance, how I see her as a teacher too, and not fight over little thing. How if it was somebody else that would have told me a hoodie and not a head, I'll be like, oh, thank you. Yeah, English is not my first language, all the nonsense. And when it's my kids, it's like, like leave me
What do
alone.
you
No,
know?
why?
Right.
Right,
I'm the
exactly. Why?
mom.
Because I'm your mom? Exactly. So, and I'm not really like that, where I'm like, oh, I'm the mom, you listen to me. But sometimes we are because we have to be the parent. And in that moment, it was a really moment of kind of like spiritual growth when it's like, all right, surrender. She can teach you stuff too, and you just have to listen instead of offer. If you offer the resistance, you'll get resistance back. That's why she's argumentative, because you're arguing with her. She's your mirror. Constant, just listen, watch, learn, and grow from it. So that was definitely one.
Yes, yes. Thank you. That was a perfect analogy. And when you were dropping it, it's like when you go up and down a staircase and you know that one step squeaks. If you're
Mhm.
trying to not wake someone up, you know how to avoid it. You step over it, but then you forget sometimes. Oh, I forgot about. Yeah, it's there to remind you of something.
Right.
Um, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Right. And so,
absolutely.
yes, yes, I love that. What about you, Dominique? Give an
Spiritual,
example. Oh,
spiritual
we have that
checkpoint.
clip too. Then we're gonna go into this part that people are why
Well, her
people are
is
afraid.
very beautiful, and a very I think a lot of people very relate to that very quickly.
What?
Thank you.
Oh,
So
Mine.
oh yeah,
my
yeah.
spiritual checkpoint, which is they're not always one and done. Some of them are
True.
a series of checkpoints. And maybe because they're like tow points till you get to the checkpoint, the weigh-in station on the GPS of spirit. And it started
Mm-hmm.
off with me moving here, which here is I don't have a location for here. It's private. But here on the island. And so my last partnership, which ended 3 years ago, he still had a hold energetic cord tethers attached in my direction. And so with that, my moving, it kind of amped up. And for a lot of you guys that don't know my story, I'm coming out of a partnership of what is that called? Intimate partner violence household. So what happens is after you leave these types of dynamics, actually they ramp up. And actually becomes more dangerous for the person after they leave the relationship than when they do stay in these dynamics. So my particular partner, knowing that I was moved started to do spiritual warfare. And this is why we're circling back to this whole conversation. And you might go, well, how does someone have spiritual warfare? And Lauren talks about this all the times in very subtle ways, like the 4 agreements, the way you use your words to spell cast, and the energy you put out. And we have thought bullets that hit other people with malice or ill intent. All of these are types of spiritual warfare. And then there are the more traditional ones, which is the ones I'm going to speak on now, which is you could hire someone that is versed well in dark arts, and they will create something for you and send that energy with their knowledge and skill set to someone else. And that brings us back to the top of the conversation of the hour. So I have been getting an onslaught of these messages. I'm gonna word them as messages because they're not going to get anything else from me besides that, other than an acknowledgement that they are occurring. And so what this could look like is you're restless, you're not sleeping, you're feeling like your emotions aren't overwhelmed, they don't feel like your feelings. You're starting to see extremely strange things happening that feel dangerous or unsafe, or a series of
Strangely interesting things.
Strangely interesting things, yes. So anyways, I sent back the message via spiritual postal service, and my message was not received well because they acknowledged that I got the package and I went forward back to sender. Not, this person does not live in this house anymore, and they were highly upset that their package didn't influence me in a way that they wanted to. So what has happened then? What has happened then in the last few months is my car rolled over into a ditch. There was $14,000 of damages in my car. And my first rental car, the rental truck from this car, I wound up having a tire explode. The tire exploded. I had 3 rental cars in a short period of time, and each time something happened to the vehicle. And now, most recently, when I sent the warfare back with my own message, a tree broke, landed on my tiny house. My altar exploded. And my car.
This. Well, we can show them.
Yeah, we'll show you the altar clip. So basically what happens is someone's sending you something negative back. You don't send them something negative back. You don't fight fire with fire. You fight fire with water. So you send back.
Well, first of all, stop. Because if it wasn't for last night when I was with someone and this came up, I have it. It's on the counter upstairs. They said replace the word basic with essential.
Did I say basic?
Yeah.
I said basically?
Basically what they sent back was not basic. They thought it was essential. You see what I mean? Because basic is a distraction. It makes you think it's this when it's this. It's this way when it's this way. It changes the definition of what the intention was towards you, because the way you accept it, if you say it's not, you see what I'm saying? You pick up, it's a shield, the word. So you want it to be a marshmallow, you want it to be concrete or steel, right? Essential. So, sorry, go on.
Okay, so we sent back the essentials.
Yes, because that means it's planned.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And it is planned. And the idea behind this is to disempower the other person for whatever reason. And you might say, well, why would someone do that? Everybody has a reason. Everybody's a character in a universe within themselves. So we can't tap into that. So a tree had broke on the tiny house.
Now we talked.
And we talked.
The night before or the day before? Because you sent me it in the morning. Can I show them what happened?
Yeah. So, and then
right. So
this was the immediate reply to, like, and I say immediate, like I literally just finished my work, my cleansing, my protection, and this was my reply.
Now, I had this challenge in my checkpoint recently where you're gonna get the chance to test the people that are in the front row seats of your life. Who do you have on speed dial? Who do you ask for discernment? Where do you go? Whose opinion do you trust on spirituality pieces? And I realized I went to the people that are heightened in areas I am not. Automatically, I sent that out in the darkness that night when I was going through my exam. I hold in my hand what I refer to now as the final exam, where it all came down to it. And so when I reached out, and you were one of those people that night. In the morning, joy comes in the morning. Oh, sleep on it. It'll look different in the morning. See, in the light, what lives in the dark, expose it to the light.
Sure.
So all these things, everything was coming into play. So here's what happened. We were talking that night before, and then she goes to sleep, and this happens.
Don't you know I pissed something off today? These flew off from up there. Yep.
So broken glass. No.
It basically it fell on my
There it is again.
essentially it fell on my workstation, which is my livelihood. So this is my finances. It was my laptop again that would do with my finances, and my spiritual cards, which would be with information. So it landed on the hub of my tiny house right there. And to take that a step further, I want to talk about what happened last night
In the car.
in the car. And my fingers are burned from last night. So I'm coming back from Philadelphia, and my car is full to the brim with things from my storage as I'm emptying it out since I'm relocated now. And as I was shutting the door to the car, I had just finished speaking with my sister, and she's like, listen, we just all got to be careful because there's an onslaught happening. There's a war happening. I said, I was just talking to Lauren about this yesterday. I'm like, we know there's a war happening. And she's like, and you're a big target because you're big. You're what did she say? Because you're a lighthouse. And I said, I understand that. I got it. So I'm closing the door. I'm at work. I'm shutting the door. And I hear, as I'm shutting it, I hear, and I'm like, that sounds like gas. Not that it smells like gas. It sounds like gas. And as soon as I shut the door, there's a flame from inside of my door in the rear passenger seats. I don't have any passengers in this car. I've been driving the car for several hours. So I've been like in the car. The car's full of boxes, essentially kindling. And I see a flame touch the ceiling of the car inside in the window. And I opened the back passenger door, and there was a lighter that decided to express its gas and ignite itself. This is all while I'm about to go into work.
Right.
So I opened the trunk real fast. I grabbed this poncho that I had, the only thing that was fabric that I had in there. This I went when I was teaching Reiki in Colombia. This was basically the only thing I wore all through Colombia while I was teaching spiritual work. I took it and I had patted it into the door because the door was on fire. And this is made of wool. So it had gotten burned, and my fingers had got burned. And the plastic inside the bottom of the door had got burned. I called my sister, and she's like, oh my gosh, like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. And she's like, I had a premonition this morning that someone's gonna die. And I said, ain't gonna be me.
I know, that's right. And
but I closed it. But the thing is, you could tell how protected. Somebody might go, wow, that's horrible. How protected I was. It could have happened when I was down the block.
Could have happened, right?
It could have happened down the block. The whole car would have exploded. How much stuff I have in there?
All kinds of, and you know what? Another thing.
It could have happened on the expressway.
It could have.
Off.
Now, when she said protected dominion, when you know who you are, that's why everything connects. If you forget, if you don't find out and acknowledge who you are, you won't realize what you have, and then you won't know what to do with it when you need to. Like that. Thinking like that. That's a spiritual checkpoint. What do you do? Did you panic and run? When I caught on fire, I ran. And then hit my knees and everything, drop and roll, Uncle, and rolled around, melted stuff on the carpet at my mom's, just like, and what I do? Jumped my happy ass up and ran again. Drop and roll, Uncle Lauren. Right. If they hadn't been playing Uno, I'd have been a burn up something right now. So there you go. No weapon formed against you. So there's the promise. But then also, look at all the things. You know, we're worried about where we got burned. That person burned me, this and the other. But here's the real news. It affected that cloth, that wool. It had an effect. It touched that car. But because we have dominion, it cannot put its hands on us, and it cannot speak. It can make sounds out of make things do. It can do a whole bunch of stuff, but it is not what it can do. That don't scare me. Touch me. I want to see you do it. That's what I'm saying. It's to remind us of who we are.
Yeah,
We've already won. Lulu.
I would just add one more thing, Orko or Dominic. It's my
Yeah.
favorite name, by the way, Dominic. I would say look into the versions of yourself that were when you were using that poncho, the person who left that house and had all the boxes in there. Because if you had a premonition that somebody might die,
That was my sister.
was you. It was just a different version of you, another version of you that you had to leave behind while out and getting to start this new thing. You know what I mean? So if anything, they aided you in your transformation in that move forward because they allowed you to, to go and to let go, to move forward and to let go of a version of you that doesn't serve you anymore, that they've been hovering on and trying to grab onto, and then you just like let it go at one point. And even and also like how you behave, like how Lauren said he would panic. If you behave differently this time than maybe how you would have in another time, then you know that that new version of you is the one that kind of raised to the challenge, to that spiritual checkpoint and moved forward.
That's
Exactly.
exactly it. That's exactly this whole processing and being encompassed by.
Beautiful.
So what we have here downstairs, Lulu's a part of my spiritual checkpoint, which is the same thing. I'm leaving some things behind and stepping into some new. Same thing on her first. The way it's almost not almost, it is a slinky effect. Look at where I see like grappling hooks, but then when it's spiritual warfare, also the missiles, when you hit the button and you see on the screen where they go. I believe this. It's an opportunity for us all to live full and die empty, not die with the bow or the arrow in our hands of all the things that we have gathered to be of service to the world, but we never let the arrow fly. Don't worry about darts and arrows hitting you. Know that the truth is the only thing that will hit its mark. Exactly right. And then make it your life's work to show up every day as some form of a target for truth. I'm not going to worry about darts and things that don't serve me. I'm going to focus on being a target for truth. See, because then I won't worry about where I shoot mine of truth. Just the truth will find its mark as long as somebody or something shows up as its target. It will land. And so this is how, again, I love it, because one of the things when I was speaking last week on a stage that stood out to me was everybody up there was name dropping or using a quote that you hear 1,000 times. Turn your mess into a mess. Cliches. But cliches, no cliches came out during my final Jeopardy round of that exam. They were things that mattered. I just didn't say them because they were cute or clever, impressive to people. I use them because I understand the power they wield. And that is important. So you don't pick up an empty something and try to throw it against the most powerful thing that has ever approached you. Our spiritual power doesn't come in pints, quarts, and gallons. A drop of it can create an ocean, just like when we take the poison and we get one drop, it can provide oceans of healing.
True.
One drop of your power can drown oceans of predators, things that do not serve you. Can clear the decks. It sure can. And we need to know that, because it is also proof that we're being great stewards. We are not letting our things get dusty, fall between the cracks. We don't think that doesn't matter. Oh, that's the big thing. No, count it all joy. This is our panic room, is what the desires of our heart, they live there. And the panic room is not for us to be panicked. It's doing the moments when you're going through that inventory, when you're going through that challenge to show where this goes here, click, 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 out. They go, woo, okay, I'll get back to her. I need a little more time in the gym. I ain't strong enough. Got it. Come on back, Cletus. There is no walking over and limping back. You won't go back. Period. So, I'm grateful. Spiritual checkpoints. Keep it inside your mindset. Listen for things that point to it and be ready for it. Expect it. You got this. And you'll feel so much stronger standing in your own everything. I'm telling you, this is important, is to remember who we are. So thank you. New Beginnings, Lulu Lee, tell them when your show is out and where they can find it.
It is already out. You can find it every Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. Pacific time and 10 a.m. Eastern time. You can find it on of course, on E360 TV. On my YouTube channel, you can find it under IB with Lulu Lee. Facebook, same name, Inspirational Beauty with Lulu Lee, and Amazon Fire, Roku, and all of the above under E360 TV network.
Yes. You guys keep your eyes out. It's just and I love the guest you have. Who's your guest this week? I love that guy.
Yeah, Coach Adam. Great friend, great just beautiful story of transformation and inspiration, and a great guy. So I'm excited about the conversation.
You guys don't forget Wednesday morning, okay? You'll find that. I'll pin it at the top of my page, okay? And Dominique, anything going on they need to know about? You'll be back Wednesday, hopefully both of you.
I will be back Wednesday, and if you want to work with me, check my website out, oracleofapollo.com. We can work through some somatic memory, dreams, energy work, clearing, bringing you back up, or just
your
energetic.
Real deal, y'all. Real deal. Angels came and removed something from me once because of this woman, for real, and they haven't brought that thing up. It hasn't been back since, for real. Just erased it. Real deal. Listen, get out of here. Have your best day ever. Find that E and that R you need to take everything to an all new level. High to higher, bright to brighter, great to greater, strong to stronger. My personal favorite, kind to kinder. Now, do not let my screen door slam on the way out. And remember, Dr. Lauren loves you. Not a damn thing you can do about it. See you guys tomorrow. Don't forget, big week here. And next week, meet the rock stars. Every single guest is a rock star who is coming back with a joy report that will make your toes curl. Really. You don't want to miss it. See you tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul. And honey, I'll show